Nice talking to you.
Wait, what if I told you I was thinking about being a spy too, when I grow up?
All right. Good luck with that.
I'm serious. You don't believe me?
Hey Ozzy, how's it going? I am taking a look at your 11-second club winning entry. Congratulations. Really love this piece. My name is Paul Allen. I have been a mentor since 2006 at Animation Mentor, and I have been in the industry since 1997. Worked at DNA Productions, ReelFX, and most currently at id Software. My first ship game with id, Doom Eternal. So good to meet you. And let's take a look at your piece. I really love this piece. I like the simplicity of the ideas, but it's very clear. Your acting choices and walking and talking is always fun. I think overall it reads really well. I get what's happening with the interaction between them, so I think that is great. Because you're working with a WAV file as it is given, as far as like feedback, my initial reaction when I watched it the first time is because of the space that you have in the waveform between what he says and her reaction. Her reaction feels a little bit close together with him turning and walking off, because I was looking at him, and then she reacts, and initially it happened so closely together in the waveform that you was working with that I missed her reaction take on the first pass, and I had to go back and look at it. But I love the cut on action and the turn, and the I like especially how when she's turning that you save punching the arm through here, through the backpack strap, because it made it very clear, and as a cut on action it felt just really nice, and it was a very clear action when she's turning. So I think you made a good choice there. You started her going this way with her eye cut, going this way to track on him, and then finished the action, and then a little bit of a hustle to catch up with him. So I think that's really nice as well. As far as like composition of where they're at in frame, I think possibly some things that might help strengthen it are maybe having her just a little bit further over this way. That way it'll just give them a little bit room, and maybe get her a little bit slightly bigger in frame when she catches up, because she feels like she's further behind him than when we cut. She feels really small, like she's further behind him, and then we cut here, she suddenly feels like, in relation to the size of his arm, he feels like she feels like she's suddenly much closer, and it would just, I think it would be make it feel a little bit nicer if she was just maybe a little bit bigger. And that would just imply, when I say bigger, that would just imply that she's a little bit closer to him, and I think that would cut nicer on cutting to. Let's get rid of that real quick. Let's get rid of this. And then when we get to right there, I think that would cut a little bit better and make it feel like she's caught up and not so small. And then that would also make her just a little bit bigger in frame, and moving her likely slightly out the side, I think would help them feel like they're not so smashed together, and so that you get a little bit more breathing room in this negative space between them, between their masses. But I really love the piece overall. It's very appealing. I do get the sense when I'm watching it a little bit that her eyes, her nose, and her mouth, her facial expressions are slightly drifting a little bit inside of the silhouette of her head. So that's just locking those maybe down a little bit tighter. But you did this in 2 weeks, so I mean, I think you did a really good job with that. Love the shapes of the mouth, the little gap in the tooth there, where she's missing a tooth, speaks to her age. That's something you want to think about. You kept the hair, the movement with the hair. It feels like she's walking, and it's also reacting to her head shakes. So I think that you kept it subtle, and I like that it's not flopping all over the place. So overall, I think this really does tell this little bit of a story. The only other things possibly, it's a limited, 2 weeks, it's a limited form of animation. I think if you wanted to go for a little bit more, even more naturalistic sort of style, is that his head, when he's talking, the walk looks really well, and the side to side shifting and the sway of his body really speaks to, it has a natural feel for a walk. His head feels like it's turning a little bit at the base of his head and the top of his neck, slightly, to make it more complex, which maybe you wouldn't want to do, is involving a little bit more down into the spine with the turn, but that it would make it feel a little bit more involved. But it's more work with, you said you did it in 2 weeks, so the style you chose is appropriate for what the choices you made. Yeah, I think overall, I think this is a really, really fun piece, and it matches, except for the few things I listed. I think it has just a fun, sincere quality to it, and appeal. That's something that we always talk about, is like, how is something appealing? And her expressions are very readable, and she's playing off of it's very sort of, he's very being Mr. Government man, very stoic. I think this is from that recent movie with Batista, I believe. So that sort of fits. That sort of fits, and she's the childlike quality of her really comes out nicely. So congratulations again on this. Really fun, and glad that you was able to submit this. I think this is a good addition as a winner to the 11 Second Club.